Yesterday, President Obama said he accepted General Actually, this is no segue at all. I'm just making it up as I go. But yesterday, President Obama accepted General McChrystal's resignation and put General David Petraeus in charge of the war in Afghanistan. And by the way, this is now the longest war in U.S. history. President Obama said the move had nothing to do with a disagreement in policy or, quote, any sense of personal insult. But I've just got to say, Elizabeth, you talk about personal insults. Joe Klein with Time Magazine told us this morning on Morning Joe, the first time these guys met in 2008, they had a screaming match and had to be pulled off of each other. Isn't this a much bigger problem of a cultural disconnect between generals and politicians in the White House?
We've seen it before in history. I think that this time it's being exposed maybe later than the president or the general would have liked. You know, I think that they obviously went in with a bit of, their horns were locked. You know, McChrystal went in asking for 40,000 troops right away. And in his mind, he's a walking calculator of how many lives will be lost if that doesn't happen, okay? Obama said maybe, waited 3 months and then decided to give him 30,000. That's an insult, I think, to a general who you're asking for their expertise.
But the thing is, we've been there for a decade, and I'm wondering why Americans are still dying today. We've got generals that want to fight this war for another 10 years. I've asked every foreign policy expert that's been on my show over the past year, what's our end game? Why are Americans dying in Afghanistan?
What do you think about the withdrawal date, then? Do you think that that's appropriate, setting the date?
Sooner the better. And you know what? You know why? You know why? Because we could be in Afghanistan for another 10, 20, 30 years. Yeah. I had one foreign policy expert tell me that the definition of the Taliban is a pissed-off Pashtun. Guess what? They're not going anywhere. Yeah. They're going to be there for hundreds of years. We're not going to win that war.
The danger of getting a hold of Pakistan's nuclear weapons that's on the border at Waziristan, I don't know exactly the name of it. Isn't that really the issue of why we have to be there still?
Well, see, and that's the insanity of all this. People say we've got to be in what they'll say is we've got to be in Afghanistan because Pakistan's the most dangerous country on the globe, other than right here where flies are about to take me off the set. The thing is, if Pakistan is the most dangerous place on the globe, guess where you need to focus?
We should be dealing with
Pakistan, not Afghanistan.
Don't tell me that's going to be our next war in Pakistan.
No, it's not. But I will tell you what, you can bribe a lot of Pakistani officials with the money that we're wasting in Afghanistan without American deaths.
But you've been doing it for so long. You just start going, what is going...
Look, counterinsurgency is not a battle plan. It's a political strategy, and it takes a long time.
This guy right here, very impressive. We go from Viagra to foreign policy.
We do that every day on this show.
Unfortunately, there's a thinner line than you would think.
A much thinner line. All right, hey, we're going to be back with more Hot Topics. Stick around.